Everyone, I'm Christina. I recently defended my dissertation in psychology and neuroscience department, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today about my project on introductory programming for online social science experiments. Next slide, please. All right. So this project was meant to address a number of pedagogical challenges at Duke and provide opportunities to the students involved in the process. So first, getting involved in the research process can be a hurdle and an increasing barrier for students. If you're not doing a secondary research project, students will often run participants who come into the lab. As we all know from COVID, there's also a push towards online research projects if possible. And many studies are also now being run with crowdsourced populations online. So this project can help equip students with the skills they need to be a part of these new changes to research. And second, there's this ongoing push for interdisciplinary training. So this project goes over web development, computer science, research methods, and design. And so it's meant to equip students with a broad range of expertise. It's going to teach them generalizable skills. So students are going to learn how to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, skills that are often cited beyond academia and in industry positions like research or user experience roles as well. Next slide, please. All right, so I don't know how many of you have heard of GitHub before, but it's a site where you can go and post code online. It allows you to also create your own sort of websites. You can have GitHub pages. And so I've used this in the past as a way of creating an open source course site where I've just used a pre-made theme and posted all my sorts of teaching materials online so other people can access them at different times. So GitHub's pretty useful. Feel free to look into that too. So the first part of my project involved creating an open source GitHub repository. So I designed, I created, I coded this site myself as an example for students in the learning process. And so it has 4 modules worth of content. So crowdsourced experiments, basic survey design, customized design with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, and advanced kind of customization. And each module has subsections that students can then skip to along the sidebar, and an assessment and suggested readings or continuations of learning towards the end. The fact that the site is actually on GitHub means that students can also be brought into the learning process. So the code is used as an example on the site during the lessons, but also they have the opportunity to become contributors where if something is unclear, they can actually edit the site themselves because they can join the little organization that is hosting the site. And they can add their own projects as examples in the code examples folder on the repository site. So it's one benefit of having this as a kind of open source site, shared all the materials with everyone around. Next slide, please. Okay. So to increase the project impact and the number of undergraduates who we could reach, it was suggested that we use the content and assessments that I developed as part of the GitHub repository for Coursera, specifically aimed for the Duke population. So this was also meant to help students, who like to learn via video and direct engagement with instructors rather than, a long scrollable site of a lot of text that you're going to see. So as a part of this process, I learned to edit videos for my professional development. And so you can see one of the first videos I created here where there's at least a couple of issues, right? It needs a little intro or opening slide. So it's not just directly on my face. The resolution is actually wrong in my attempt to have that green screen that you can even see behind me right now. And you can see it basically cuts off my arms in the video. So I learned a lot about creating and editing videos. Next slide, please. And I also learned how to use and create Coursera modules. So I already talked about how we use the content on the GitHub site itself, but The following here is just a screenshot from a quiz that I've created as part of a lesson within a module on the Coursera site itself. So I think this was also helpful in strengthening my teaching skills because I had to think not only about appropriate assessment for students, but also giving good critical feedback that also wouldn't like immediately reveal the correct answer to students. And so this Coursera is set to launch later with a pilot first with the undergraduates. So I don't have that link to share with you, but I'm excited to see how students take the Coursera in addition to seeing how they enjoy seeing the GitHub course and using it within and outside of Duke as well. Next slide, please. And so I just really wanted to thank everyone in Learning and Innovation who advised me on video editing, professional development, user experience, project impact, as well as the people in my lab and department who basically provided advice and code that I could use to diversify the examples on the site. And so thank you all for also listening to me today.